So iPhone 14, people have ordered it. People are getting it. Some videos dropped. The videos were dropped. And the regular consumer is going to be getting this thing. If they pre-ordered it, they're going to be getting this thing tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to be getting this thing tomorrow.
I'm excited.
Tomorrow? Today? Today.
Yeah, today.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is I haven't put my paws on it at the moment, but I was curious about this story and how the regular iPhone 14 models are not the ones that people seem to want. That apparently, and this is according to Ming Chi and then a bunch of other articles, the iPhone 14 experienced worse pre-orders than the Pro and Pro Max. Pro and Pro Max make up over 80% of the pre-orders, and early adopters lean away from the iPhone 14. I thought we were in a recession, Will. I thought it was an inflation situation going on here.
Not for iPhones.
It's the opposite for iPhones.
Yeah.
Everybody said, I want the Pro and Pro Max. I looked at this and I thought to myself, okay, well, this is early adopters. And much like when you're putting a YouTube video out there and you're trying to figure out which one people are clicking on or typing in for the title, it's the Pro Max. Tell me about the Pro Max.
The best one. The most extreme.
Costs a lot of money. But then I was thinking, well, maybe that's just in the videos. Maybe people just want to know about the most expensive one, but apparently people want to order the most expensive one as well. Apple unveiled iPhone 14 lineup last week with the usual fanfare. But they got rid of one, the mini model, the iPhone 13 mini. And then I was thinking, okay, well, they got rid of the mini. People want the bigger screen. Sure, I can see that. And then I think I even predicted, I was like, well, they can just get the 14 Plus. I think a lot of people will order the 14 Plus. Was I wrong? I mean, maybe they will over the entire lifespan. Maybe the thing is that the regular iPhone buyers are slightly less enthusiastic as far as needing to order it right away. They might order it closer to Christmas, or they might get it in the later months. You never know. So it could just be a correlation there, but it seems to me that based on the article, this is a much bigger difference than is typical for that discrepancy between the regular model and the Pro model. So maybe there's more to the story here. Maybe the discrepancy between the two of them is maybe the gap is widening, or at least as far as people's perceptions are concerned.
Do you think it's the camera? Do you think it's the dynamic island?
Yeah, it might be a dynamic island.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to get at. I said, well, maybe the discrepancy is expanding.
I was nervous when I said it. That's why I said it wrong the first time, because I knew you were going to scream it.
Yeah, like every single year, Apple tries to balance this thing out as far as what features does the regular model get and what features does the Pro model get. And they try to keep it, I presume, in some sort of happy balance where the people who want to buy at a certain price point buy a certain amount, and they got to project it and predict it effectively because of manufacturing and things like that.
Sure.
Maybe this year the balance moved more to the Pro model because they spent so much time during the presentation on Dynamic Island, and maybe people are sick of the notch. And to be fair, if you pick up an iPhone 14, it's looking like an iPhone 13.
Yeah.
So you're not really looking at something that's feeling as fresh as living on a dynamic island. You can point it and say, but then all of a sudden you came to me and you said, hey, Dynamic Island in direct sunlight isn't as dynamic. That's what you were just saying to me. I'm surprised you don't have a tab for it. Or maybe you do. Were you saving it?
No.
Well, this is actually a new topic now.
Okay.
And it's called Dynamic Island in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
Which is what people were beginning to talk about today. I don't know where you got that image. Obviously, you don't even remember where you got that image because
I know The Verge had it.
Well, let's just go straight there then. Thank you to The Verge. But essentially, since this island is dynamic, it's reaching into sections of the display which aren't punched out, but instead our actual screen turned black. And even with the fancy display tech that's in here, in direct sunlight, you're able to spot the difference from where the cutout exists for the front-facing camera and where the island begins. So not quite as seamless as they had in their presentation, but I'm not surprised. I mean, I expected this. It's just, this is our first opportunity to really see how that works because of all these videos have emerged. The review embargo videos have all emerged. There you go. Direct sunlight. You had a good, that was a pretty good shot there. You can just spot the difference. Now, is that a big deal? I don't think I'm willing to go so far as to say it's a big deal. I think it's still a fun and cool implementation. And I think it does help it vanish a little bit. Well, helps it vanish a little bit. And it takes something that's been an eyesore for how many generations now and it tries to turn it into a feature. But you have no dynamic island fun if you don't get the Pro model. And I think that's actually a pretty big discrepancy. Normally, it's just like you have an extra camera or different colors to choose from, or maybe it's you have a slightly better build with the Pro model, things like this that might not matter as much to the average customer. And then, but maybe the customer looks at this and says, dynamic island, that's the reason I'm gonna upgrade this year. I'm gonna look at it and be reminded that it's a new interface element, that it's a brand new phone. It's not the old phone. And I can point at a thing and say, that's the reason why.
So which one are you gonna choose?
It's like a refresh versus an all new. You know, in cars, they do that. The all new Ford Mustang.
Yes.
Like how much has to happen visually to go from refresh to all new? How much has to change? I saw an argument on Twitter that the new Mustang looks too much like the old Mustang or is sharing too many parts. And then I saw a response from somebody at Ford saying, no, we got a new suspension, new this, new that. Like, what does it take to be all new? I'm sure someone has a definition or description as to how to make that determination. And then I'm sure there's an argument for that.
Yeah.
But that thing that's pretty new.
It looks great.
It looks pretty, would you say it's all new, Will?
Well, that's the new one for 2024. So, yeah.
But our argument is all new versus refresh.
Does it have a dynamic island? If
That's
not,
actually what that is in the hood right there, that little hood section.
Oh, this thing
yeah,
right here?
that's actually a dynamic.
Okay, then, yeah, it's new.
It's all new. The little hood scoop there is actually a dynamic. You tap on it. Well, I'm off the rails here, obviously, but I went back and forth too because I talked about dynamic island in direct sunlight and then went all the way back to sales.
Are you gonna get the
the
Pro or the Pro Max?
Actually this year I got 4 units. So I mean,
what are you gonna use?
No, I would always use the Pro. I don't think I ever use the regular version.
Got it.
But I don't know how typical it is to. I don't know how typical my lifestyle is, or the fact that I make videos on this. You know what I'm saying? It's not very typical. So the one that was interesting was the Mini because it was so different scale wise. But even that, I don't think I use it for a very extended period of time or anything like that. But anyway, you let me know in the comments which one is interesting to you and if what I said applies to you as to why you think the Pro models have attracted 80% of pre-orders. That's a lot of pre-orders, man. That's a huge percentage.